Hey everybody, how you doing? If you live in San Leandro, you are certainly aware of the city council race pitting the incumbent Bryan Azevedo versus the challenger who was the council member before Bryan, Ed Hernandez. And if you're familiar with that, then you're probably familiar with a man named Lee Thomas, who was also once council member, also ran for mayor. Unfortunately, he didn't win. But for reasons best known to Mr. Thomas, he has decided to play what I would personally describe as some dirty tricks against Bryan Azevedo, Councilmember Azevedo. And in response to a number of actions, I wrote the post that you see right here on zenireport.com entitled Lee Thomas Admits Filming Mother of San Leandro Councilmember Bryan Azevedo to Harass Her. And it goes like this: the crazy behavior of former San Leandro council members Lee Thomas and Ed Hernandez in trying to make up stories about the incumbent San Leandro council member Bryan Azevedo had taken a new level of nutso in the opinion of this blogger. In a newish Facebook post he thinks clears his name, the former San Leandro council member Lee Thomas admits filming at close range the mother of San Leandro Councilmember Bryan Azevedo. Councilmember Azevedo's mom is 70 years old, which classifies her as elderly. Councilmember Azevedo's mother is also a cancer survivor and barely 5 feet tall. That means Lee Thomas just admitted violating California's elder abuse law, if not the law surrounding intentional actions to cause emotional distress. Here's what Mr. Thomas wrote in that Facebook group. Quote, below is a copy of my letter to the San Leandro Times. Happy Friday, folks. Dear editor, I call upon the city to release the video of the physical altercation between Councilmember Azevedo and myself earlier this month at the San Leandro Public Library. I have reviewed the video. Councilmember Azevedo has repeatedly misrepresented what occurred. He initiated and caused the physical confrontation. Here's what occurred in the library hallway. Councilmember Azevedo's mother approached journalist Stephen Tavares in agitated state, berating him, using abusive language. Here's a break. What Mr. Thomas fails to note is that Mr. Tavares was reported by a number of people, not just Councilmember Azevedo, as talking in a way that was harassing to both Councilmember Azevedo and, by turns, his parents. That's how it was explained to this blogger, me. Okay, I will continue. He continues that he was standing nearby. He says he decided to record what was happening on his cell phone as the actions of Councilmember Azevedo's mother were extreme and violated the library's code of conduct. She noticed I was recording her and began to berate me. Now, note, all this is happening because she's upset over the way her son is being treated, first by Stephen Tavares and then second by Lee Thomas. Take note of that. At this point, Councilmember Azevedo rushed toward me and he has stated, I stepped in to protect my mom, which means that from Bryan's perspective, hey, Lee and Stephen were both attacking his mother. Now, you would step in if your mother were being treated like that, wouldn't you? I would hope so. Anyway, he says I said nothing to his mother nor acted in any manner that was threatening to her. By his judgment, consider that. It was Councilmember Azevedo who snapped. His face was a ball of anger, and he verbally threatened me. I stood my ground and told Councilmember Azevedo to back off. Councilmember Azevedo came right to my face and attempted to push me back by shoving his chest into me, he claims. Fortunately, that was the extent of the physical altercation. Others quickly intervened to separate us. A third person associated with Councilmember Azevedo, however, forcibly grabbed my arms from behind me, causing to suffer painful shoulder and elbow strain. I actually found out that person was not associated with Councilmember Azevedo. It was actually a Lopez, I believe, council member, but not someone associated with Councilmember Azevedo. At any rate, Contrary to the accusations of Councilmember Azevedo, at no point did I state his wife was not a legal resident. I would never make such a comment. My spouse was born outside the United States. Since Councilmember Azevedo took office nearly 4 years ago, our city council has experienced an unprecedented level of infighting. If Councilmember Azevedo wins re-election, we'll have another 2 years of paralysis and dysfunction on the city council as he prepares to run for mayor in 2026. Lee Thomas, MPA, former San Leandro city council member. Now, that was passed to me. And the reason why Councilmember Azevedo's campaign manager hired Zenny 62 Media is because prior to this point, only one other person was writing regularly in a fashion that was completely against Councilmember Azevedo, and that was Mr. Tavares. Mr. Tavares is known by a number of people that I know for being compensated for making content. So from the standpoint of Councilmember Azevedo's campaign, they simply believe that hiring Zenny 62 Media was fighting fire with fire. That's it. And our position is that everybody has a right to tell their own story. And that's all Councilmember Azevedo and the campaign are trying to do, tell their side of the story, which has not gotten out. And if you take a look at their position, first of all, the account includes that Lee Thomas also rushed Councilmember Azevedo and said, quote, that he was going to get him. He was going to get him. And there are a number of people, small, who have taken to Nextdoor and written comments about Councilmember Azevedo about the way he talks and the way he or they perceive him to be, which is basically not an erudite, polished person. The reason why Councilmember Azevedo is so popular is because he is an every person. He connects with the people of San Leandro. But note, and this is the most important fact I will share with you about this entire affair. None of this has anything to do with any difference in policy. There's no discussion regarding the Marina Development Project. However, there are allegations that Ed Hernandez was being paid by the developer to the tune of $10,000. Was Lee Thomas also involved in this Marina project? And if so, is that why they're trying to get Councilmember Azevedo out of the way so they can revive the Marina project, which had filed for bankruptcy? You know, these are the kind of questions that make you go, okay. But the bottom line is that they have attacked Councilmember Azevedo on a very personal level. It has nothing to do with his stance or position on anything at all. And normally you would think that would be the first approach to say, well, okay, you're a conservative or you're a progressive, whatever the case. Nothing like that. They simply don't like him. But the voters selected Councilmember Azevedo over now former Councilmember Hernandez. That's a fact. So that's why I'm making this video, to call for that and other reasons, Mr. Thomas to simply apologize to Councilmember Azevedo's mother, because throughout this entire affair, Mr. Thomas has shown no concern for the council member's mother as an elderly person with respect. He has not addressed her that way at all. And if he wants to be considered as a champion of San Leandro, then he should be concerned about maintaining San Leandro values. San Leandro has always been known as a place where people who ran it were mild-mannered, kind to everybody, and keen to listen to what you had to say, whether or not they agreed with you. So why can't that be the case this time? The way this is being handled is just not in anybody's favor at all, the way Mr. Thomas is doing it. I've had people tell me other stories about Mr. Thomas. I won't print here because I don't believe that they are germane at this point. Okay, at this point. And I don't wish to tar and feather Mr. Thomas. I'm simply pointing out that there's another side to the story that would cause one to say to Mr. Thomas, hey, don't you think you should apologize to the council member's mother? I think so. I think so. And so there it is. Mr. Thomas, apologize to Councilmember Azevedo's mother. I think it's the right thing to do. In fact, a number of people believe it's the right thing to do because it is the right thing to do. Thank you.